0 if you're keeping score. I probably should have been more gracious, but even amidst my wounded ego and the crushed dreams of a Chilean wedding, I stand by that comparison. Your own personal Jesus? Like Berta, very few people object when I say that Jesus Christ is my Savior. Some even find it attractive. It's when I go on to say the rest of what Jesus says, that he is the only way to God and the authority on all matters in life and death, that they cry foul. Our culture's problem is not with Jesus as a good man, a prophet, a teacher, or even as a deity. It's with Jesus's primary claim, that he is Lord. Sometimes I hear people talk about my God or my Jesus as if he were their possession. Once I was listening to two people on a talk show debate the Christian perspective on some moral issue. One, to her credit, was trying to explain what the Bible said. The other, who was a bit more free-thinking, kept saying indignantly, "Well, my Jesus would never say that." The individual referred to his Jesus so many times that I finally yelled at the television, "You don't get your own personal Jesus." I'm aware that he couldn't hear me, but it still felt right at the time. God is not ours. He is his own. He's not a salad bar where we take the items we have an appetite for and leave the others. He's not the Burger King God where you have him your way, or a Build-A-Bear God where you assemble the deity you like best. When God appeared to Moses, he declared, "I am who I am." I am who I am is not, I am whoever you want me to be. Can we imagine how offensive it must be to God when we attempt to reshape him according to our preferences? How would you like it if someone did that to you? Suppose a writer approached you and said, "I have been watching you and I'd really like to write your biography. I want other people to know how wonderful you are." But then their biography presents you as an astronaut with a string of failed relationships who lives alone with 18 cats, none of which are true. So you say to your biographer, there's a problem. First, I'm scared of heights. Second, I am not that bad at relationships. And third, like all godly people, I prefer dogs to cats. They respond, "Oh, but you are so much more interesting as the spurned, cat-loving astronaut. People will only buy the book if you're like that." My guess is that you'd be offended. If we wouldn't like someone else doing that to us, why would we think it's okay to do that with God? Do we think that our idea of God is better than who he actually is? Have we forgotten who we are talking about? Remaking God in our image. When it comes to creating a God of our liking, a quip attributed to Voltaire holds true. God created man in his own image, and man has been trying to repay the favor ever since. God recognized this would be one of our greatest temptations, so in the second commandment he warned, "You shall not make for yourself an image in the form of anything in heaven above or on the earth beneath or in the waters below." Exodus 20, verse 4. We must be careful not to confuse this commandment with the first one, "You shall have no other gods before me," as people often do. They might sound similar, but they are different. The first is about worshiping the wrong gods. The second is about worshiping the right God in the wrong way. If you want to know how much of a temptation this is for us, consider that Israel broke this commandment before Moses had even come back down the mountain with the commandments. Moses had been delayed in his return, and the people got scared. The promises of an invisible God were not enough for them, not when there were real needs, real enemies, and real dangers. They wanted a protector they could touch and see, whose presence they could verify. So they made a golden calf to represent God. Notice how the narrator makes clear that with the golden calf, Israel was not worshiping a new God, but the true God in the wrong way. Exodus 32, 5 and 6. When Aaron saw this, he built an altar in front of the calf and announced, "Tomorrow there will be a festival to the Lord." That word, Lord, in all caps in printed Bibles, indicates God's covenant name, given specially to Israel. For the Israelites, this golden image became the one true God as we would like him to be. We might be tempted to think that no one does this anymore. You probably